Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Nightmares, anyone. I'm Richard. Today, we're going to go back to the 80s again with the horror classic from 1984, Robert R. McCammon's Usher's Passing. Come back after the intro. Yeah, there's something outside. Oh my God, no. What in the hell is that? Would you guys like to be scared? Welcome to Nightmares, anyone. Let's get scared. Hey you guys, welcome back. So, with it being Good Friday today, the Friday before Easter, I could not have worn a more appropriate shirt. Let's summon demons. Yeah. I know a lot of you are going to say, Richard, that was a terrible joke. I thought it was kind of funny. But, so, we are going back to the 80s again. Now, when it comes to horror, most people would say their favorite horror author is Stephen King. There's so many others too, but my favorite horror author of all time has got to be Robert R. McCammon. Now, with my favorite book of all time being Boy's Life by Robert R. McCammon. This book that we're going to review today, 1984's Usher's Passing, is in my top 5 favorite horror novels of all time. Now, his first book, Bail, was published in 1978 or 79, and it was his take on the coming of the Antichrist. Blew Damien Thorn out of the water. The book was a slow burn, and I'll never forget when it came out. It came out in paperback only. It was an Avon book, and I remember when it came out, Susan and I both read it at the same time. It scared the hell out of us. And then followed up with Bethany, Sin, They Thirst, oh my God, Mine, but I've got them all right here. If you look up behind me, I've got all of his books right there. And let's talk about, I'm going to show you I'll show you some of my originals. This one here, let me throw my glasses on. This is the one that started it all for me. This one, wow, it's kind of funny. This one came out in 1980, so this was like the 4th one I read from him, with Bail being the first. It followed up, like I said, with this one, Bethany's Sin, another classic. Oh my God, this book, if you've never read it, it is the ultimate fucked up tale of wives getting revenge. And then came They Thirst. This is the original paperback cover. I've got multiple copies of these books. This was about vampires in Los Angeles. And then there was this. This is the original paperback by Avon. Mine is still like brand new. Yeah, Night Boat. Have you guys read Robert R. McCammon? Yeah, if you guys have, leave me some comments below. And speaking of comments, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Throw me a thumbs up, you guys. And then came Mary Terror in Robert R. McCammon's Mine, which, setback art. Mary's happy at last. She has a beautiful baby boy. A baby she has stolen and will kill to keep. Oh, I took my glasses off. Another terrifying book. And then there was Stinger, which he branched off into a little bit more sci-fi than for my liking. And then, who can forget this one? Swan Song. This, in my opinion, blew The Stand out of the water. I've read all of his books, except I Still Have to Conquer. It's funny because I have all of his books in both their original paperback formats, and when he started publishing to hardback, I have the hardbacks. And the only two I have not read from him is this one, The Listener. Everybody says this is their favorite, more modern book of his. I bought this when it first came out. This was $25 by Cemetery Dance Publications. It came out in 2018. I still haven't read this. And I haven't read this 700 plus tome, Speaks the Nightbird. Now this is the original hardback version that has the entire book, not parts 1 and 2, like it was broken up into when it came out in paperback. And then here's my original. Yeah, can't believe it. 1984. 42 years ago this came out. Usher's Passing. I still have my original copy. Yes, I still have my original copy. I bought it, I got it given to me for my birthday. Came out January 1st of 1984. So I got it for my 23rd birthday, $14.95. Can you guys believe it? I'm gonna read you guys, and then here was the first edition of the paperback, the US paperback version that came out. There's the crumbling Usherland mansion. Here's the image of the scary as hell Pumpkin Man. We're gonna get into that here in just a minute. But and then here's the creator of horror himself, Robert R. McCammon, standing in front of a pretty creepy ass looking mansion. But I'm gonna throw my glasses on. Sorry, you guys are gonna get a little glare. And then I want to show you guys something else. Well, I'll show you these two after I do this review. So, do you believe a family can be cursed? What about just the name? Can a name carry death? Can it have curses? I have never read Edgar Allan Poe's 1839 novella, The Fall of the House of Usher. I've never read it. The only thing I've read by Poe was when I was in high school, we had to read The Cask of Amontillado, and we had to read The Monkey's Paw. And those are the only two books that they're not even books, they're just short stories. They're novella type sized books. Those are the only things I've ever read by him. Now, this book, Usher's Passing, gets so much hate. Yeah, a lot of people hate this book. They say it's a horrible sequel. It's not a sequel. What Robert R. McCammon is doing here, he is taking the name of the Usher family and he is taking it generations and generations and generations forward into the future of 1984. It's not a time tale book, but it takes place in modern day North Carolina, right outside of Asheville. And well, let me read what the inside cover says, and then I'm going to talk to you about this book. It says, "Move over, King and Straub." Yeah. Inspired by Edgar Allan Poe's classic story, Fall of the House of Usher, Robert R. McCammon makes a dazzling leap of imagination in this enormously entertaining and truly frightening novel. Usher's Passing asks, what if the Usher story hadn't ended with the deaths of Roderick and Madeline over a century ago? What if they'd had a brother to carry the family name, an infamous legacy, into the future? Set in modern-day North Carolina in the present, Usher's Passing begins weaving its spell with the arrival of Rix, Usher at the deathbed of his father. The powerful patriarch must hand over the family scepter to one of his three children. An anti-war activist, Rix, wants no part of the $10 billion Usher armaments business. Hell, what are you thinking of, Rix? His sister's drug habit and brother's gambling and drinking hardly recommend either for position of such extraordinary wealth and influence. But whoever is chosen stands to inherit not only the lucrative business of destruction, not only the vast opulent estate that legend says is haunted by nightmarish creatures, but all of the horrifying secrets of the Usher family's mad heritage. In Usher's passing, each of 5 generations has a tale to tell, and their stories move across time to lead Rix Rush Usher into the haunted heart of Usherland, where he must face both who he is and what he is. Yeah. This book had 401 pages, and let me tell you what, this book, now, being set in 1984, North Carolina, Rix has come home to say goodbye to his father. Now, his father, Waylon, is dying, and Rix's great-great-grandfather was the 3rd member of the Poe family's kids. He was Roderick and Madeline's brother. Now, Rix, he knows of the past and the tales and the morbid stories about his family, but he doesn't know the truth about his family. And when he comes home, he is struggling as a horror author. His books haven't been selling. He wants to go home, get done with just this whole thing, say goodbye to his father, say goodbye to his brother and sister. His sister, Katerina, is a former model, and she's just a mess of a drug addict. His older brother, Boone, gambles and drinks like, oh my God, he gambles money faster than he can make it. And with the Usher family being owners of the Usher Armaments Company, Rix knows there's money in the family. He just wants to deal with it. But when he comes home, he finds some information. His father brought to America with him diaries, boxes and boxes of papers and stories and things about the Usher family that no one ever talked about. And when Rix discovers this info, he starts to think, what if I were to write my version of my family's tale of debauchery and madness and evil? And he goes into this so deep. It's almost like he finds himself telling himself, okay, Rix, you need to stop. You need to stop. Where do you draw the line between reality and fiction, Rix? You need to, you're fucking killing yourself with this. And what he uncovers is, oh my God. I have not read this book in probably over 30 years. And I remember when I read it the first time, I liked it, but I didn't love it. It creeped me out. It was scary. There were scenes of disgusting gore, but you cannot go into this book thinking you're gonna open the pages of a fast-moving Carrie or a fast-moving Dean Koontz book. This book starts out as kind of a slow burn horror, But man, when it releases its brakes and gets you into the tale of this creepy thing that lives in the woods that could possibly be taking all these children on Briartop Mountain over the 100+ years. What is this thing they talk about called the Pumpkin Man? And the Pumpkin Man has a familiar, a creepy, huge Black Panther called Greedy Guts. Yeah, the names are kind of funny, and you think, Pumpkin Man, what the hell is this like? But you have to remember, this was written in 1984. It was before Pumpkinhead. It was before it was before Jason and Friday the 13th and Freddy Krueger. This book has real fear in it. And when Rick starts uncovering the truth about some of these hundreds and hundreds of kids that have been just all of a sudden come up disappeared or missing, just never come home, and the things he hears and sees in the woods, something fucking scary is going on in Asheville, North Carolina. And when he comes back to Usherland, which is where the current family resides and runs the company, he knows there's got to be more truth to the stories that he, learned and knew growing up. He uncovers one of this book has 3 of the scariest nighttime don't get lost in the woods scenes that you will never forget. And he meets a young lady by the name of Raven, and she is like an investigative reporter, and she warns him of things that she has learned growing up in the area, and he just doesn't believe it. But when he meets the local townspeople, and they tell him stories of his family when they grew up, when their grandparents grew up, Rick realizes he is in a position that he needs to sign, seal, and deliver and get the fuck out of town. It's graphic, it's gruesome, it's only Robert R. McCammon. Only Robert R. McCammon could have wrote this book. It is not a sequel to Follow the House of Usher. Do not go into this thinking it's going to pick up right where Poe left it, or even how Poe wrote it. Robert R. McCammon's writing is so unlike any other author, and he is still living today, still pumping out New York Times best-selling books. And I highly recommend this book. If you can listen to it, listen to it. I've been listening to it over the last day and a half. I finished it last night. I will leave a link to where you can listen to the audiobook here on YouTube, right here. I'll leave the link. And if you've ever read it, but it's been years and years and years, like it had been for me, go back, re-experience this classic tale of horror. You won't forget it. And Robert R. McCammon, when he wrote Boy's Life, Boy's Life changed who I was as a person. The book, I've read it more than any other book in my entire library, in my entire world, in my entire time living. I've read Boy's Life more than any other book. I've given more Boy's Life to more friends and people that I've met and recommended it. I've given more copies of that book to people more than any other book that I think I've ever given to people. But this is a great book. Now, I was going to show you guys some things. Like I said, yeah, I haven't read his book, Speaks the Nightbird. Now, it's a period piece. It takes place in the 16 or 1700s, and it's about witchcraft and a young man by the name of Matthew Corbett, and it has 10 books after this one. So yeah, I have to get myself into that state of mind where I want to get into reading a big series of books. But like I was telling you guys, I have some of my most cherished copies of books are by Robert R. McCammon. And this one being one of them. This is the coolest little book, and it's called A Little Amber Book of Wicked Shots by Robert R. McCammon. It's just a little book. It's just a little book. It's a limited edition hardback. Um, it came out from Borderlands Press, and I'm going to show you. It was limited to only 750 copies. I got number 441. And it's signed by the man himself right there, Robert R. McCammon. Yeah, this is... I have not read this. The only reason I haven't read it is because I don't want to break the binding of this little book. This book was not cheap. It was like $55, and it's a signed, numbered edition, and it's not available anymore. So this is one of them. I have another rare book of his, Tales from Greystone Bay. Another, this was released by Cemetery Dance, and this came out in 2017, and this has only got 101 pages in it, and it is big print. Yeah, this is yeah. But you guys, I highly recommend this book. And once again, I want to tell you all, thanks for taking time out of your day. If you have the Easter Bunny coming your way, hopefully he brings you some blood-soaked chocolate eggs. Just as long as there's nothing living inside the eggs. Yeah, you guys, you need to experience Usher's passing. And if you've never read Robert R. McCammon, it's a great book to start with. But like I said, don't expect to go into wham, fast moving graphic. The suspense in this book is just unbearable. It's just, you'll find yourself where you're like, oh my God, what the hell is going on? It's 1 o'clock in the morning, I have to go to bed. But the madness and the scenes of debauchery, and there's witchcraft, there's devil worship in this book. But when Rix finds out who he is and what he is, it'll give you goosebumps. You guys, I'm Richard with Nightmares Anyone. Take care of yourselves, be kind to others, but pick up a good, scary book. Have great nightmares. Like I tell you all the time, it's great to be scared. It's good for the pumper. It keeps you alive. But yeah, take care of you guys. I'm Richard with Real Men Craft 2, and hey, have a good weekend. I'll see you in the next one.